Picture it. You want to look better for the beach. You want to look better for Instagram. So, what do? Well, you do the same thing that everyone does. You go to the gym, eat a little healthier, then go take a look in the mirror, and what do you see? Disappointment. I know I've been there. So, you try all the different supplements. They don't work. You look all over the internet for that one secret tip that seems like you've been missing out on. And try as you might, that thing just doesn't exist. So, naturally, a lot of people who desire that body image, they turn to the dark side. They go for the internet's hottest new steroid called SARMs. In today's video, I'll be talking about the ADME principles of SARM, the mechanism of action, the toxic effects it has on the body, the legality of it, and most of all, its cultural significance and how it has affected young people, especially since its ease of obtainability. You can get it anywhere. So let's say here I am as an insecure teenager, not happy with the way my body looks, and I want to do what all the guys on TikTok are doing that make them grow these huge muscles in a matter of months. Let's just see how easy it is to get my hands on some of this stuff. Free shipping too. Nice bonus. And here we are. In a matter of seconds, I can get SARMs shipped to my door. Okay, so I know these things will help me in the gym, and I know where to get them, but what are they? Well, SARM stands for Selective Androgen Receptor Modulator, and they're a whole family of drugs. It's not one specific drug, and they're a type of synthetic steroid. These drugs mimic the effect of testosterone on the body. They were initially discovered in the 1940s. However, SARMs have become increasingly popular in modern times, especially due to the readily availability on the internet and these changing body standards. So what's the ADME for SARMs? SARMs are typically found in a pill, but sometimes in a liquid, for oral intake, providing an enteral route of administration. As with most enteral routes of administration, this makes them subject to the first pass effect, increasing their concentration in the liver and reducing their bioavailability. SARMs are generally distributed throughout the whole body, though, and since they mimic the effect of testosterone, which is part of the endocrine system, it mainly communicates with the tissue cells of the body. The primary metabolite that SARMs is broken down into is carboxylic acid, and it has a half-life between 3.5 and 5.5 hours. The primary methods of excretion are through urine and feces. The mechanism of action is that SARMs are an androgen receptor ligand that binds to androgen receptors of testosterone. Molecularly, they have a very similar shape to testosterone, and which testosterone is the hormone used by the body to facilitate the development of male features and muscle growth. In simple terms, SARMs tricks the endocrine system into believing there is an excess level of testosterone within the bloodstream by binding to the testosterone receptors. It can be considered an agonist. While most drugs we learned about in class communicate through neurotransmitters as their main mechanism of action and their addictive properties, SARMs communicate mainly with our tissue cells. But neurotransmitters are at play in individuals using this drug. The main neurotransmitter that is affected from SARMs is dopamine, much like other addictive substances. While SARMs are not intoxicating or addicting in the traditional sense, they are very psychologically addictive, since every time an individual would see their new transformed body versus their weak and lackluster body of the past, they'd be happy and it would elevate their mood and as a result increase dopamine levels. And as such, they would want to stay using the drug since they don't want to go back to their weak and wimpy old self. But actually, most of these people were pretty well built beforehand, but they just had image issues caused by social media. But this perception and dopamine release is what ultimately creates the addiction and abuse of SARMs. The body systems affected by SARMs include, but are not limited to, the muscular system, the endocrine system, the reproductive system, the cardiovascular system, and the integumentary system. The list just goes on and on and on. Since all of the other effects are mediated through the endocrine system, that's what I will most describe today. The endocrine system is a system of glands throughout the body that release hormones to facilitate bodily functions, including growth, sleep, and appetite, and many other functions. The hormones send signals through the body similar to neurotransmitters. However, key difference is that hormones are much slower since they travel through the bloodstream, while neurotransmitters travel from neuron to neuron. There are many organs that make up the endocrine system, but the most notable would be testes in men, since they are the natural creator and regulator of testosterone, and we will mainly be focusing on men in the use of SARMs as that is who most uses them. The intended effect of using SARMs is an enhanced skeletal muscle growth, aka you want that beach body. But many people fail to consider that it is not magic. The substance will only give them accelerated growth of work they have to put in. If you're lacking in the gym and in your diet, I'm sorry, but you won't get that body. So, as a result, people think, oh, I must not be taking enough, so they end up just taking more and not working harder, which increases the toxic side effects. One of the most common and easily identifiable side effects is excessive body acne due to hormone imbalance. This is a common side effect of many steroids, which can be a telltale sign of excessively muscular individuals. If you see back acne, they're probably on steroids. Another common side is gynecomastia, which is enlargement of the mammary tissue in men. This is because the hormone imbalance confuses the body, and excess estrogen is produced in order to balance out the testosterone, thus causing an enlargement of the nipples. Also, the hormone imbalance causes mood swings and bouts of anger, also known as roid rage. Since there's an excess of testosterone, it becomes incredibly difficult to control temper. And since the body believes there's a surplus of testosterone, the testicles will begin to shrink and atrophy because the body feels that they are no longer needed. Finally, the most dangerous side effect is an enlargement of the heart. Since it builds muscular tissue, the heart is a muscle, and as it beats, it grows stronger and bigger, eventually leading to cardiac arrest, aka death. The legality of SARMs is kind of a mixed bag. The SARMs are scheduled under Schedule 3 controlled substances along with regular steroids, even though they're not approved for clinical use in the same way that traditional steroids are when prescribed by a doctor. However, a loophole in the laws allows them to be labeled as research chemicals and not for human use. This loophole allows them to be readily accessible on the internet with little to no regulation. And finally, the cultural significance of SARMs. SARMs are more affordable, more readily accessible, perceived to be safer, and do not have to be injected. All of these factors, in tandem with the unrealistic body standards set by social media, are what causes young people to start using SARMs even as early as 14 or 15 years old. While steroids might be safe for a full-grown adult in the supervision of a medical professional, SARMs are untested, manufactured in unsanitary conditions, and are taken with no doctor's consultation. These dangers are even further compounded by the fact that most SARMs users are teens that will go to any lengths to achieve the body that they see on Instagram and TikTok. Those people are more commonly steroid users themselves. Ultimately, this is not a criminal issue, nor is it a healthcare issue, but it is a cultural issue due to these unrealistic image standards set by social media that young men compare themselves to every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video project. Enjoy these 2 weeks before the start of the next semester, and bye.